to the BetAdvisor podcast. Hello and welcome to the BetAdvisor podcast. In fact, you are listening to the very first over-under show. Here with me, Stuart, and also joining us today, we've got Jason Mills. And Jason will be a regular participant on this. He's going to be here pretty much every week when the Premier League is playing. Is that right, Jason?
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Premier League matchups this week. So the match is taking place this weekend. So that's the Saturday, Sunday and Monday matches, I believe. That one jumped at me in the last minute, but, you know, we got there eventually. So we got Jason Mills with us. He is a statistical expert. Is it fair to put you that way?
Oh, I wouldn't say expert, but I do...
Well, you're more expert than me, let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I look at more statistics than you, yeah.
Okay, so Jason is going to be looking at things from a statistical point of view. I work in a slightly more haphazard way, to be fair. I look at the players that are going to be playing, the way the teams match up, all the kind of things that, you know, people that go with what they would call a gut feel goes with. I'm not going to say I'm as good as Jason because he's definitely got a better record than me overall. So it could be interesting to see what works better in terms of the over-under. Jason, you have been trying this out, haven't you? You've been testing this for a few weeks.
Yeah, I've been trialing this. I think I mentioned on one of the interviews that we did that it's something I'm trialing. It's looking hopeful. I don't make systems lightly, but I've looked at this over a number of years, and it's averaged out quite nicely. So, not going to say that every week's going to be profitable, but overall, long term should add a few pounds into the coffers.
Okay, I would like to point out to everyone listening, because you may be listening on a Google Plus Hangout if you're not listening on the podcast later on, because this is actually going to be uploaded onto our SoundCloud account tonight. And I'd like to make sure that everyone is clear on this, because the situation is Jason has his over-under bets, and I understand you're going to be sending those out to your clients. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
I
and those are your end
selections.
selections. Those are your end selections, right?
Yes.
And the ones that we're going to be talking about, they are not particularly your end selections. The end selections will be in there, but the final selection will be sent out to your clients as like, these are the ones you should be backing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason, to protect the way that you work, I don't want you to talk about the strength of the selection, okay, statistically. I'm just going to want to hear an over or an under from you, and if there's anything you can talk about beyond the statistics, that would be really good to hear as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through. We're going to take a match at a time. So let's go with Man City Tottenham to start off with. And we're going to completely ignore the odds. We know that Man City are favourites in this one. We're going to ignore the odds and we're just going to go for Jason's selection, my selection. We're going to switch that around as we go. And we'll see at the end of the week who comes out with the most points. So it's going to be 1 point for a win, and obviously 0 points for a loss. We are looking potentially in the future to bring in a client. That would be good, wouldn't it? If we could bring in one person a week and then they could compete against us. And then if they manage to beat us, if they get the highest amount of points, then they would actually get a little bit of a prize. Does that sound reasonable, Jason?
Yeah, sounds excellent. Sounds like a great plan.
Okay, so here we are. Jason Mills, Premiership expert. Statistical genius. Manchester City against Tottenham. That was not my sound effect. Let's make that very clear. Manchester City against Tottenham. We have Manchester City, who are favourites for this one. Average odds around 1.46. You can get 4.51 for the draw or 7.31 for a Tottenham win. Jason Mills, over or under?
I've got to go over on this one.
You're going to go for over 2.5 goals?
Yep.
Okay, would you like to phone a friend?
Yeah, your favourite team, Tottenham?
Oh, no, see, now you've given it away. Yes, I am completely biased on this one. I'm blinded by my love for Spurs, the glorious Tottenham Hotspurs. And I think this one's going to go under.
Oh.
You know why I think this one's going to go under?
No idea.
Well, Tottenham have Carl Norton out Kyle Walker, out. Both of those are guaranteed to be missing this game. You've got Hugo Lloris, potentially the world's best goalkeeper. I did say potentially. He might miss this one. He had an injury which meant he missed the second France match. He might be missing. And then you look at the Man City side, and it's a scary one, but they do have Fernandinho, who may make it. He's going to be a late decision. You've got Mangala and Nasri, who are both out. So I'm seeing some injuries on both sides. And what I'm saying is that neither side's going to risk injuries because there's bigger games coming up later in the season. And Tottenham have had some fairly heavy thrashings in this game in the past. I think Tottenham are going to want to keep this one tight. And so I think this one is going to go under. So we've already got our first contentious decision. We do not have a decision, in fact. So what does everybody at home think? Next game, Arsenal against Hull. I'm going to go again for an under on this one. Arsenal not been in great form, and they've got a massive list of injuries. So I think they're going to be struggling. Hull, Snodgrass is out with a knee injury. They've got their reserve goalkeeper, I guess, Alan McGregor. He's also out. Jason, what do you reckon?
I'm going over for this one as well.
Okay, so we've got our second decision where we are not agreed. So the odds on that one, let's see, what have we got? So Arsenal home win, obviously that does look a very strong selection. 1.42, you can get average odds. 4.71 for a draw, and the odds have just gone up to 7.99 for a Hull City win. Do you reckon Hull City could do that?
No.
No.
Got 1.7 for over 2.5 goals at Pinnacle.
Really?
At the moment.
Okay.
And 2.36 for under.
2.36 for under. Oh,
yeah. That's
so I'm on the wrong side of the bookies line there, aren't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
What stats do you want me to give? Do you want me to give any stats away?
Well, you can give us the odds if you've got the odds. We're happy to look at that, but we don't want you to give anything away that it would be beneficial to your clients. Obviously, you're going to be sending out that information later on to your clients when it's ready. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So, Jason Mills, it's your turn. Jason Mills, Premiership expert. Burnley against West Ham.
I'm going under for this one.
Yeah, you're going under? I'm with you, actually. I think that's going to be an under as well. I don't see either of these teams being big scorers, although I did say that about Burnley when they played Leicester and then they managed to get 2 goals. So, who knows? If we're going to run through, you've got the odds there, haven't you?
Yeah, 1.88 at Matchbook.
For
the under 2.5.
For the under 2.5. And for the over, if anybody's interested?
2.12.
2.12. Okay, so we're just going to go through the injuries. Burnley, they're definitely missing Matthew Taylor and Sam Vokes, both of whom have had an operation. And they might be missing Michael Keane and the spectacular Dean Marney. I call him the spectacular because I think everybody should know where he comes from. Tottenham boy. All right. West Ham, missing Andy Carroll, another one who's had an operation. James Collins might be missing. Guy Demel might be missing. Carl Jenkinson also might be missing. These guys are not sure. Another 2 players who might make it, but we're not guaranteed yet. Joey O'Brien and Ricardo Vaz-Tay. I'm not sure either of those players are, shall we say, guaranteed starters. And they also got Kouyaté, Cheku, I believe it's Cheku Kouyaté. So does that change your opinion at all? Do you reckon we're going to have an overgame because of those injuries?
It's a tight one. It's going to be difficult. But I've just leaned towards the under. It's I've got a feeling they might just cancel each other out slightly. But just gonna go for the. It's going to be close, I think. But under is the way to go.
Okay, so next game, Crystal Palace against Chelsea. Now I'm up first on this one. Now I think this one's going to be an over. I think the odds are going to be fairly heavily towards the over because Chelsea are a very much the stronger side. Even though they might be missing Diego Costa, they might be missing John Obi Mikel, they might be missing Andre Schürrle, and they might be missing Ramirez, but I'm expecting at least 2 of those players to be fit for this. Crystal Palace side, they're missing Dan Scott, definitely, and they might be missing Adrian Mariappa. Jason Mills, Premiership expert.
I agree with you.
You're going to go for the over as well?
Yeah, I agree with you. Going for the over. That's really good odds, actually. 1.85 at Matchbook. I thought it would have been much lower than that.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that, I have to say.
For the over and 2.11 for the under. That's both at Matchbook.
Okay, and if we go by the odds for the match odds. 7.84 for a Chelsea. 7.84 for a Chelsea win. Yeah, we'd all love that, wouldn't we? 7.84 for a Crystal Palace win. 4.51 for a draw, and 1.44 for a Chelsea win, which is a little bit more to be expected. Okay, Everton. Ross Barkley might make it. He's back in training. Kevin Morales is pretty much guaranteed to miss one. James McCarthy, Seamus Coleman, and Stephen Pienaar all might make it, but John Stones has an ankle injury and he's definitely out. Aston Villa on the other side. Fabian Delph is out. I found out today he's out for 2 months. He's got a dislocated shoulder. He fell over and hurt himself. Libor Kozak, they don't know what's wrong with him. He's out. And Philippe Sendos. So he might make it. So he might have the bald-headed partnership at the back. Jason, is it my turn or your turn? I believe you're up first, aren't you?
It's my turn, and I'm going to go with under.
You're going to go with under.
Go with under there, and that is that's against the bookies because it's 2.1 with Ladbrokes.
Yeah.
Bookies have got 1.87 over with Matchbook.
This one's a tough one for me. I've got a feeling there might be some goals in this one. Everton not been great defensively, and with Fabian Delph missing and Philippe Senderos maybe missing, I think that's a weakened Aston Villa side. I think there's some goals in this one. I'm going over.
Could well be right.
Well, let's hope so. Okay, so the odds for that one. Everton, Aston Villa. Everton, 1.59 for a win. The odds have just changed for a draw to 3.98. And it's 6.18 for an Aston Villa win, which is fairly long odds, I think. Especially with the...
Yeah.
I think that's... bookies might be slightly out on that one because Aston Villa, they haven't got as many injuries and Everton have a few. Newcastle against Leicester. So, Newcastle, let's go through their missing players. They've got a long list of them as well. Roland Aarons, youngster. Adam Campbell, youngster. Siem de Jong, he'd be quite a useful player if he was fit. Emmanuel Riviere, again, another quite useful player if he was fit. Jonas Gutierrez, I think everybody has a certain amount of sympathy for Jonas Gutierrez. Testicular cancer, we wish him the best of luck on that one. Sami Amiobi and Davide Santon all out. Guaranteed to be out. On the other side, you've got Leicester, who have Matt Upson, who's had an operation. He's the only player who's guaranteed to be out on this one. I'm not a fan of Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle are doing very well. I think Leicester have a good striker up front. I think they're a team that likes to attack. I think they're going to be salivating at the chance to try and score a few goals away from home and pick up 3 points away from the King Power Stadium. I'm going over.
Yeah, this was a match we looked at on for SBR, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We looked at it on the video, and I think you went over there as well. Very tough match, very tough to call, but I'm agreeing with you. I'm going to go over as well. I think probably 2-1.
Yeah.
Either way, you know, it's
I think 2-1 Leicester, if anything, but that's just me. So, yeah, I think we're agreed on that one. So that's an over game. What are the odds on that?
Newcastle Leicester. The over is 1.8 at Ladbrokes, and the under is 2.21 with 12 bet.
Yeah, so we're definitely on the right side of the bookies with this one.
Yeah, right side on that one.
Okay, on to Southampton Sunderland. So if we have a quick look at the odds on that one, the odds for a Southampton win are 1.58, 3.9 for the draw, and 6.56 for Sunderland. Now we know Sunderland are not particularly good away from home. They're not particularly good travellers, and they've got about as far as they've got to go all the way down to Southampton. Yeah, I think I'll stay out of the match odds market on that one. So, Southampton are going to be missing, guaranteed to be missing, Jay Rodriguez, James Ward-Prowse, and Maya Yoshida. Sam Gallagher and Lloyd Isgrove might make it, but my understanding is they're youngsters and not likely to be real first teamers anyway. Sunderland, guaranteed to be missing 4 players, Sebastian Coates, Billy Jones, Valentin Roberge, and Ricardo Alvarez. Now, I think I'm up on this one. I'm seeing this one as an over. Jason?
Yep, over as well. Got over for that one.
Okay. All right. Now we're moving on to the Sunday games.
Do you want the odds?
Yep, go on, give us the odds on that one.
The under is 1.89,
Yeah.
and the over is 2.09. So we're on the wrong side of the bookies.
We're on the wrong side of the bookies.
That's with Matchbook, 2.09. That's a decent bet.
Okay, so moving on to QPR against Liverpool. This one's up for a bit of a whitewash, I'm sure. QPR win, odds of 6. Surprised they're that low, frankly. A draw is 4.09, and a Liverpool win is average odds, I would say a fairly generous 1.58. So, Jason, you up first or am I up first on this one? I forget.
I've forgotten myself. I'll go first.
Okay,
I'm actually probably going to surprise you, and I'm going to go for an under.
You're going to go for an under? Really?
Yeah, yep. That's what my numbers say.
Okay, well, my gut says it's going over.
Initially looking at it and seeing the pairing, I would, if I was going just by my gut, I would go over as well. But as I'm a numbers person, I got to go with under.
Well, you are here to give the statistical point of view, and if you're going for an under, and the stats are saying under, then you can put that down. Okay, so QPR, they're missing Joey Barton and they're missing Jordan Mutch, so that's 2 midfielders down. They might be getting back the most handsome man in football, Nico Kranjčka. And Liverpool, out, guaranteed to be missing this game, is Jesus Fernando Saez, John Flanagan, who's got a knee injury, I feel for him, I've been there myself, and Jordan Ibe. Dejan Lovren, Mamadou Sakho and Daniel Sturridge might make it, and I think if Daniel Sturridge makes it, that really, really opens up this game for it to be a real over selection. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a risk, but I'm going for an over because I want the points. Later on the Sunday, we have Stoke against Swansea.
Just give you the odds.
Oh, give us the odds. Go on.
Give us the odds. That's 2.25 for the under at William Hill.
And that makes me on the right side.
Yeah, I'm the wrong side there, and 1.76 for over.
Okay.
With Pinnacle.
So we have Stoke against Swansea later on the Sunday. Stoke are missing Marko Arnautovic, he might make it, as might Jeff Cameron, Mame Biran Diouf, Victor Moses and Glenn Whelan. All of those might make it, but Peter Odvingi is another one who's suffered the knee knack, and he's out with a knee injury. Swansea, Jordi Amat, Rory Donnelly and Leon Britton are all injured for this one, and John Joe Shelby is serving a 1-match ban after picking up 5 yellow cards. So Stoke City are 2.47 for the win, 3.26 for the draw, and 3.01 for a Swansea win. That's about as even as we're getting on that one, I think. So, this is up to me first, isn't it? So many injuries. I'm going for an over.
Well, I've got to disagree. I'm going for an under.
See, this is...
We've disagreed quite a few times.
We've disagreed quite a few times. This is working out okay. Okay, so what are the odds? Let's go for the over. What am I getting for my money?
2 seconds. Over is 2.23 at Matchbook.
Okay.
And under is 1.76 at Matchbook.
So you're on the right side of the bookies there.
So I'm the right side. This is completely opposite to the last selection.
You are the bookie's friend in this one. Okay, so West Brom, Man U, the very last game of the weekend. This is the one I almost missed right at the end. West Brom against Man U. West Brom, 4.77 for a win. It's 3.86 for a draw. And a fairly healthy 1.74 for a Manchester United win if you happen to think that the Red Devils can make it. There are more injuries on the Man U side. Michael Carrick's out. Johnny Evans, Ander Herrera, Phil Jones might make it. Jesse Lingard is out if you're interested in the youth players. Patrick McNair, another one who's coming through from the youth side. He might make it. But Wayne Rooney is definitely out from a ban. Chris Smalling is definitely out with an injury. Ashley Young is out with an injury. But Valencia might make this game. If we go to the home side, got a lot of players who might make this game. Victor Anichebe, Chris Brunt, Gareth McCauley and Silvestre Varela all might make it. But Claudio Jacob is out for personal reasons. I believe I went first last time, did I?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes it your choice.
So despite Rooney being out, I'm still going to go with an over.
You're still going to go with an over. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. We've seen West Brom a couple of times this season. They've not been particularly brilliant. They did well against Spurs. I will give them that. They look pretty well organised. But I think, with Falcao and Van Persie up front, And I think they've got enough of that. I think we can get an over on that one.
Yeah, that's 1.82 at Pinnacle.
Yeah.
And we're on the right side of the line there because BetVictor are best at 2.15 for the under.
So, that looks good. Looks good for us. So any particular games that you're looking forward to this weekend away from the Premiership? Who are Norwich playing? Because we know you're a Norwich fan.
Do you know what? I haven't even done my Championship. They're Fulham. Playing Fulham away.
Yeah.
So that should be an interesting match. They're bookies' favourites, 2.5 for an away win. Close match, though.
Yeah.
Going to be a tough one. But obviously both relegated last season.
Indeed.
So, very interesting. Norwich obviously doing well. They're top of the league. The last I looked, they were. So yeah, hopefully they'll get promoted back up again.
Well, best of luck to you, and best of luck for the weekend results as well. I've got you down here. Let's see. We're going to quickly go through them, shall we? So Man City, Tottenham. I've gone for an under. You've gone for an over. Arsenal, Hull. Again, I've gone for an under, and you've gone for an over. Burnley against West Ham. We've both gone under on that one, so that's pretty much one of the very few we've actually agreed on. Crystal Palace, Chelsea, we've both gone for an over, so I think that's about the second and the last one. Oh no, there is a third one coming up later on. Everton, Aston Villa, I've gone over, you've gone under. Newcastle, Leicester, both gone over. And we both went over on the Southampton-Sunderland game as well.
Yeah.
Sunday games, QPR, Liverpool, I went over and you went under. Stoke, Swansea, again, I went over, you went under. West Brom, Man U, we both went for an over. So we've got a fairly good weekend. So if I'm right, there's going to be a lot of goals, which means there's probably not going to be many and you're going to win. So, Jason Mills, thank you very, very much. It's been good to have you here. And we'll try and get this done next week, shall we?
Yeah, it'd be brilliant. Get a client in and take us on and see how things go. That would be excellent.
That would be rather good. We'll see how things go, and we shall look back at this next weekend and see who comes up with the highest number of wins. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds brilliant.
Okay, thank you everybody for listening in on the BetAdvisor Over Under Show. That's what we're calling this one, the BetAdvisor podcast. As I said, this will be going up on SoundCloud later on, so everybody will get the chance to have a listen to it then. And hopefully we might be speaking to you next weekend and seeing what you think of the over-unders. All right, bye everyone.